Fellas, AC here. Welcome to another review. Today I'm going to talk about a stunning Amouage, and this Amouage happens to be my most worn Amouage fragrance, Amouage Lyric Man. And when I got this, I wasn't even a rose lover. In fact, it was Dolce & Gabbana Mysterious Nights. That's what converted me into a rose lover. And then I got this, I think probably about 2019-ish. And from then on, I've worn this much. This is by far the most dent I've put in any Amouage fragrance. And I absolutely adore this fragrance because of two reasons. Number one, this fragrance has this rose done in a way which really gels with me. It's a masculine rose. It's been done in a very elegant way. It doesn't scream out floral in spite of being a heavy floral. And the second thing is the transition. I like fragrances that transform. And this fragrance has a beautiful development. I'm going to tell you all about that. But let's start with the basics. So Lyric Man came out in 2008 and the perfumer is or was Daniel Vicentin. Daniel Vicentin, I haven't heard much about him. He's a new one on me. And he apparently has done Fate Man as well. Amouage Fate Man. And 2008. So this has been around for a while, and this fragrance talks about or brings into focus a special kind of a rose. It's a 30-petal rose and it's called Rose de Taif. Taif is a valley in the highlands of Saudi Arabia, and the climatic conditions and the soil conditions are such that it's really famous for fruits like pomegranate, flowers like rose, and also its honey. You must have heard about this, honey of Taif or honey from Taif. It's really prized possession. It is very expensive and it's very famous. Rose of Taif is even more famous, and it's so famous and so prized that it's been mentioned in the holy texts of Islam. It's very high place, Rose has a very high place in Islam. And let me tell you the scent of the rose as well, because then we'll get into the fragrance. It's natural, it will flow naturally. So the flower that is most famous in terms of rose is Damascena, Rose Damascena, or Rose from Damascus. Rose from Damascus is known by various names. Rose Damascena grown in Turkey is known as Turkish rose. Rose Damascena grown in Bulgaria, which is very famous, is known as Bulgarian rose, which is quite spicy and rich and dense and deep. Rose grown in Europe is known as and harvested in May, known as Rose de May. Rose grown in the Taif Valley is the most unique. As I said, it's a 30-petal flower, and it has the most delicate and most fresh green smell of all the roses that I mentioned, and it's only harvested in April. So Rose de May is harvested in May, Rose Taif is harvested in April. And because of the climatic conditions it grows in, it has this special lemony flavor, lime-like flavor. And it's also more greener than the other roses I mentioned, and it's less spicy. And there's also, the smell is more delicate. It's a delicate smell rather than a proper, full-on heady rose. It's not. So, and it's so expensive and smells for about $800 to $1,000 per tola because of how little oil you get out of it, and because it grows in a very arid condition. Everything evaporates very quickly. Once the sun is out, it just flies out. So it's harvested early in the morning, and for example, just for your reference, 1 tola is equal to 11.8 grams. So we're talking about $1,000 for nearly 12 grams of oil. It's incredibly expensive. And this fragrance gives you that experience of Rose de Taif. And I'm going to walk you through the whole journey because it's a delightful fragrance. So the spray atomizer, like any Amouage, because it's a dense smell, isn't the greatest. But you don't need a lot. It's a very rich smell. And the moment you smell it, you realize how different it smells on your skin to how different it smells on paper. On paper, This is a beautiful piney green rose. So this smell of pine forests, green, angelica-like smell, lemon or lime, green lime, mixed with the most delicate smell of rose. It's a beautiful, beautiful smell. It's amazing. And there's little hint of spices. On skin, I sprayed it about 2 hours ago. Wow, this is so beautiful, absolutely luxurious. The moment I switched from paper to skin, there's just a world of difference. So, wow, this is amazing. It's got little salty, buttery frankincense. So the greenness is there. So let me divide the whole fragrance into 3 halves. One is the delicate smell of rose. Think of the smell of rose and make it delicate. And then on the side, one side is the green element. So there are 3 green elements: angelica, followed by pine, and galbanum. Galbanum is the one that gives this fragrance the oomph. It's the same note that gives Royal Oud by Creed, that oomph, that, it just lifts you up. Galbanum is doing the same job here. So those are the 3 green notes. The rose in the middle, and then on the other hand side are the spices. So the most notable spice to me is, most probably, it's nutmeg. It smells like smoky, slightly almost pink pepperish, but I can't remember if there's pink pepper or not. So it's mostly nutmeg with slight hint of pink pepper. Pink pepper goes beautifully with rose, so I wouldn't be surprised that they've used pink pepper here. So nutmeg is the main spice. Maybe pink pepper, a little bit of pink pepper, and frankincense, proper frankincense oil, which has this lemony, slightly salty, quite smoky and rich and resinous quality. That's the scent on the other half, the spicy side. And then in the base, they have got this beautiful Indian sandalwood, rich, luxurious, creamy. What a delightful experience this is. And the smokiness increases. But all of this unfolds very slowly. And when you first sprayed, I said that you have rose and lime, the sourness, the refreshing smell. Just a beautiful combination. So, Mr. Daniel Vicentin has created a masterpiece. I've smelled so many rose fragrances. I cannot describe to you how beautiful and how regal the smell is. So that's the number one upside. The fragrance is, it smells regal, very rich, very luxurious, and very well made. Number 2, the fragrance unfolds a story. It starts smelling very rich and dark, and it goes brighter as the fragrance develops. So as you can see, this bottle is showing you that, sort of dark at the bottom, and then it rises to be light red or lighter in shade. Exactly the journey of the fragrance. It starts very rich, dark rose, and it gets brighter and brighter, salty and buttery as well. Brilliant transformation. And number 3, if you want to smell or realize or learn how masculine fragrances should be done, in fact how a rose should be done for men, there couldn't have been a better example. The combination of pine and frankincense with that delicate smell of rose, with all the spices, is just on a different level. It's just beautiful. The moment you smell it, it's like poetry. Absolutely beautiful. Those are 3 upsides. The 4th would be that this is a special black tie fragrance. If you're looking for a black tie fragrance, fragrances where you want to really lay thick in terms of your taste and how well you dress and how well you smell, you only put 2 or 3. You will absolutely stand out from the rest of the crowd. This is a proper black tie fragrance. As I said, this is absolutely regal. There is no 2 ways about it. Now the downsides. Like all Amouages, you will have to look for an occasion to wear this. I wear this fragrance now because I love it so much. I wear it when I want to, because rose is so close, it enriches your soul. It's really one of the most beguiling and beautiful smells. I put it on when I'm going to be doing some focused work. It really helps me. And paired with sandalwood, it's a match made in heaven. So I wear it whenever I want to do focused work. And that's why I put in such a dent here on this bottle. But you may have to think about when you want to wear it. Once you get used to it, you probably won't have to think about it. That's the only downside I can think of, wearability. You might have to give it a thought. How is the value for money? So this is the cheapest Amouage at the moment. It goes for less than £200. I can't believe it. Less than £200 for 100 ml. Incredible, isn't it? What a scent this is. What occasions do you wear to? I think I've covered it. Special occasions, festivals, weddings, your own wedding, black tie events, special occasions, anything that Valentine's Day, it's coming through. That's one of the reasons I'm doing this. This is a perfect Valentine's Day fragrance, You can easily wear this to a Valentine's Day. Especially if you're taking your girlfriend or your wife out to a very expensive restaurant, that sort of thing. How's the performance? You will get easily 10 plus hours on skin, even more. Sometimes I wake up in the morning after having applied the previous morning and I smell it. So 24 hours, The sillage is absolutely beautiful. This is a very rich smell. So the best way to wear this fragrance is to go less, so that the elements, the rich, dense elements create a bit of a sound cloud, a smell cloud around you, right? So 2 to 3 on your jumper or your jacket or your shirt should do the job. It's a very rich smell, otherwise you will nauseate yourself and your partner or your girlfriend or people who are next to you, sitting close to you, will feel it. I have seen it myself. But for me, 1, 2 sprays max. 1 is brilliant on my jumper. I once visited, I'll talk about that in the compliment factor. So performance sillage, as I said, a very beautiful dense cloud around you. Projection, medium. I would say about half an arm's length for the rest of the journey. Initially, it's probably 1 arm's length. If you put it on your fabric, it'll probably jump out a little bit more. But you don't want these sort of fragrances to jump out. You want people to get curious about your, the cloud of smell around you, the bubble. And you want them to walk into your scent bubble. That's the trick with these sort of fragrances. Regality, royalty doesn't scream. It doesn't. It just doesn't. So age groups, 25 plus. Anybody who likes floral fragrances and don't think this is feminine. Absolutely not. This is absolutely not feminine. The smokiness is amazing. This is amazing. There's a beautiful note of musk as well, which gives it a little animalic dirtiness and depth. So 25 plus would be the ideal age group. Seasons, cold weather, even warm weather. Rose smells beautiful in warm evenings. You can try it. I've tried it. It smells beautiful. As long as it's not humid, you should be okay. Compliment factor, massive. Let me tell you my story. So I was working and I put 1 spray on my shirt and I had an appointment, a dentist's appointment. I just got up and went a few years ago, and regular visitor, every 3 months, 6 months you visit your dentist. So I visited her and she was talking to me and then doing a thingy, and suddenly she must have got a whiff of my smell and she said, "Oh, have you been to a wedding recently?" I said, I just shook my hand because there was a thing in my mouth, and she said, "Oh, right. You smell as if you've been to a wedding." So it was just an amazing expression on her face. It's like rich and luxurious. It gets people. They're like, "Yeah, okay, this is something amazing." That's my best experience in terms of how people feel in your company when you wear this. I've covered all aspects. How to wear this is important because it's a very rich smell. Rich fragrances need to be worn differently. If you spray 6 or 7, you just nauseate people. It wouldn't work. Just trying to make it project, you'll just nauseate people. It's just not going to work. There's a way to wear this fragrance. So, I've covered all aspects. How many marks am I going to give it? This, in my view, is one of the best Amouages. Amouage does everything so well. And this is one of those classical Amouages. Florals. Making florals so special requires special gift. and Mr. Daniel Vicentin has done absolutely brilliantly here. And I cannot but give it a perfect score, 10 out of 10. Because in my opinion, this is how luxurious, oriental, spicy florals should be done. It's beautiful. It's absolutely, it touches you deep down in your heart, and whoever smells you, it will really leave one of the most beautiful impressions in their mind. 10 out of 10. Hope you enjoyed the review, fellas. If you did, do give it a like and do subscribe if you haven't. Take care. Bye-bye.